up, you guys? I'm back with another video. This one is going to be a lot more action-packed, which I'm excited for. It's going to be quick too. We're going to be looking at what a perfect entry looks like. So I'm jumping around on topics. I want to speak to exactly what I know people are struggling with, what maybe someone who has been trading, so you're not a complete new beginner. You may understand some of the basics, but you're needing to hone in and focus on starting to perfect your entries, which is the ultimate goal. Every trade that you take, for you to be a consistent trader, you have to constantly get better, and you have to be able to track that, and you have to know what your setup is, what style of trade you're looking to take, what's in front of you. So for me personally, I don't call myself just a one style of a trader. I think that I kind of look for opportunity. I look at trading as very similar as a sport. And to play a sport, let's say like basketball or like soccer, you have to be really intuitive, and you have to be able to trust your instincts, and you have to be skilled, and you have to know what's presenting itself. So take a certain style of a shot, right? You might not only want to shoot 3-pointers, you might not only want to kick the ball up close or strike from far away. So the whole goal for me is to become, or has been throughout my time trading, is to become the most dynamic, and look for opportunity and find it and succeed, in the way that I'm looking to take that specific trade. So I want to take you guys through, because there's not a lot of people get set on trading one specific way. Don't get me wrong, I understand focusing on a certain style when you're first starting to trade, but I also believe that understanding and opening your mind up to the market, that it gives you so many opportunities, is a really great way to just expand your knowledge and then also your confidence, because you will win a lot more trades when you do that. So for me right now, what I like to do is go through the market and scan setups. I call signals. I have a signals group, and 4 others. So my clients take my trades. So I want to always present the best trades possible. And we're actually in a trade. We're in this trade right now. We're in on a buy. And I wanted to use this setup as a way to show you guys what a darn near perfect entry is going to look like. Okay. So for me, this is basically gonna just be a walkthrough of what looking for a setup would look like, or could look like. This would be not necessarily a trend trading setup, because if I zoom out a bit for you guys to see, there has been an uptrend on USD/JPY for a minute. It's been trending up, right? We can see through the back from our last video covering trends, it's trending, but also it hasn't made a higher high in a minute. And if we go back on the 4-hour really quick, you'll see this was USD/JPY went on a crazy run, really, really big bullish run for a while. And then it had a big fall. Then you can see on the 4-hour, it started to trend back up. So on the 4-hour, it is in an uptrend. But on the 1-hour, we're kind of stalled out. And so this is the opportunity that I speak about. So for me, when I first come to a chart, I'm always looking to identify where exactly I am, okay? Meaning where I'm at. The question I just asked is exactly what I'm saying. And really quick, I'm just gonna switch over to show you guys the trade that we did enter in on. Let me see if I can pull it up. Called this signal for my group. Now this is a demo account that I'm gonna show you guys that I took it on so that I could share, but you can see the exact entry really quick. So right over here, where's my spotlight? There we go. So right here, you see exactly where we got in. You see the trade is up about 5 pips right now. So my signals group is up about that same amount for everybody who got in at around the time that I called the trade. I want to walk you guys through and show you why we got into this trade, okay? And, I hope that you're able to kind of see this theme, because for me, that's, again, the main goal with my trades, is taking the same style trade. And it doesn't have to be the same actual setup, but the same style, meaning the same things check off consistently. So almost like a checklist that I follow and abide by. And as long as those things are accurate, and sometimes you may have more things that are checking off, sometimes you may have less, and you still decide to go for it. The goal is, again, for my trades, though, to be very little drawdown, which you can see on this trade. We had very little drawdown and we're in profit right now. So with a nice target ahead, right? We have plenty of room. So this is, like I said, a demo account. Just wanted to show you guys on the computer an actual entry. And let me go back to my trading view really quick. So let me stop this share, come back. Here we go. So same chart, trading view. Most of the time I chart from trading view, and then I take my trades actually on my phone, and take my trades, through MT4 whenever I've had the platform to do that in the past. So want to go through. So let's start through at the beginning. So if one, I don't have an uptrend, right? I didn't have an uptrend because currently the market's not making higher highs. But what I did notice immediately was that price was sitting at a very, very, very large support, right? So immediately if I come in, just place a support right there. So I've identified exactly where I'm at. I know where I am, and I see that the market is respecting, or was a moment ago. Let me come down to the 30. It was respecting the support area. So immediately, whenever you have a support or a resistance area, a lot of people wonder if trading with support and resistance is enough. I don't believe that trading only support and resistance is the way to go, but I do believe that trading support and resistance and using it as a tool, and kind of that being a big part of your trading, absolutely works. It's worked for me for years and years and years and years. But to refine that entry, you have to pay attention and not be antsy to get into the trade. So a big part of your entry and the focus of entry, when you see a resistance level or you see a support level that looks good, it looks like the market is respecting it. 1 second, let me grab my annotation again. There we go. When it looks like the market is respecting, so here we see in the past it's respected this resistance, this resistance, this resistance, and further back this resistance. Price used it as a support in the past as well. So that level was respected from the top and the bottom. But over here we see, and we're taking off even more, we see that this support level, the one that we just bought off of, is being respected over and over, right? And the respect, how we're able to see that, for one, is that you notice whenever, for me, whenever what signaled was that when the market started to get close to that level, I noticed that it did start to become wicky, right? The candlesticks, so some people love to call them a specific reversal candle. They'll call the name out of the candle. For me, my biggest thing is understanding what a reversal candle looks like. What are the characteristics of that candle? So I like to make my entries off of off of candlesticks that have a lot of wick and a little bit of body, okay? This body size was actually, in comparison to this one over here, I like this small body and more wick. I like a lot of wick, a little bit of body for my entries, but it still was giving me tons of wick. So that wick was giving me a lot of confidence whenever I called this trade and wanted to get into this trade. Again, I'm not trend trading. I bought this off of more of a consolidation because price has been consolidated on the 1 hour and the 30-minute in between these two levels. So I waited, I was patient. When price started to come down to, going back to my 1 hour, when price started to come down to that level and got close, I put our stop loss at, I believe it was 156.480. That was our stop loss. So give us a little bit of room to come past this level just in case price did break. But again, my confidence level was in the fact that my support had not been broken in quite some time. So if you see on the 1 minute, it's just taken off. Here we go. Starting to take off. It's getting more and more momentum. I'm very curious actually to go back to, we'll go back to that in a second. Go back to the MT4. I'm gonna just come back to the hour again. So we have a few things on the checklist. I identified that I wasn't trend trading. I'm trading consolidation. So for me, I'm looking ahead, knowing that this level, this 156,949 level, or around that area, is going to be the 900s area, is going to be where price would likely start to slow down again and possibly reject, right? So I have the bullish momentum now that I did get my entry. But I'm looking ahead and I'm paying attention to also that I don't have a big continuation, because on our last video, we spoke about trends and how normal trends have continuation. So we would have where we could maybe expect the market to break forward, out of here if it was a normal trend. pull back, go forward. It could still do that, but right now my expectation is that even if it only comes up to this level, right, where it's headed, we're about, I'm gonna go back really quick and go check on that MT4. I'm all over the place here. Let me share. Now we're about 10 pips profit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is also, even with my signals group, go ahead and let them know, hey, we're gonna start to trail that profit. We'll talk about that further. But again, when we're looking at a great trade and the entry point, you'll notice on all of my videos, I speak about the same thing. I say the same exact thing. To take a good entry, you need to know your trend. You need to be abiding and trading within some sort of support and resistance. Why? Why? Because you have the protection of that level. That level is going to give you a lot more confirmation and a lot more confidence that, hey, the level I'm buying off of, because in the past I've bounced up here, I've bounced up here, over here, it came down to that same neighborhood. It didn't actually 100% touch the support level, which we don't ever need it to. This support level is not a magic line. It's just a line there to show you where price has been before. So you even can see where I took my entry or started to kind of set myself up for the trade. All I looked at was this area, right? So I'm gonna, keep going back to my spotlight. This area in here, this area is giving us a lot of confidence that, hey, we probably will take a ride back up. We probably will take a ride back up. We probably will take a ride back up. We probably are going to take a ride back up. Okay. So again, the few things that I just immediately looked for this trade, very simple. I used support and resistance. And again, if you're not confident in marking up all of your support and resistance completely, let me remove this spotlight and just go through. I just marked off those two levels, but if I were to mark, I want to show you guys what I would mark off. So you see, I'm marking through. To mark off support and resistance, all I use are the peaks and the valleys, basically. I'm looking for areas that price has respected, aka stopped at, right? When I use the word respect, it means it stopped there before. When it's gotten to that place, it shows you that it's uncomfortable. The types of candlesticks that the market gives you when it's at the resistance or support, let you know whether or not the market looks like it's very weak. So you see, every time it came down to this level, start to throw indecision candles. Here's an indecision candle. Here's an indecision candle. On the 1 hour, we didn't get an indecision candle, but on the 30-minute, we got our perfect indecision candles, right? So indecision over here, here, even on here. And a lot of times you'll find indecision as well beautifully on your 15-minute. You see it kind of sat there. It did drop a bit lower, but in the past it's used those levels as well. And again, I want to use my annotation here, here. And you see the market's just shooting right now, which is beautiful. So again, I believe it's headed up to that 900s area. But it's very simple in this regard, looking at what a basic really good trade entry could look like. And I'll take you guys through. I wanted to show this specific one because this specific one was one that I entered into and called as a signal. And I think it's important for people to see live trades, to see good trades panning out. And it's very simple. Again, identifying where I'm at. So if it was a trend trade, I would be identifying where I am in the trend. Am I trading the continuation or am I trading the pullback? Am I trading a buy, which would be buying at the support, or am I selling at a resistance zone? So if you're looking to get into a trade right now, let's say it's way too late. The perfect entry was where we got in, which is down at this support point. And a lot of people struggle with that. And again, this is why adding all of these components together is very important. The more that you're able to look for a few things that you can check off, like I said, knowing where you're at, identifying where you want to get in, where's the perfect point that would be good for you to get in, and waiting for a price to come towards that point. identifying that the candlesticks start to actually slow down and show you they're respecting that point. So I didn't just hop in because I was anxious. You wait for price to start to show you that it's throwing the wicks. So like I said, for me, my favorite level would be around on the 30-minute. The 30-minute, when it starts to show those wicks, makes me very, very confident. And you trust it. Once you get in, you set a stop loss, and we'll go further into that on a different session. But I wanted to just show something very simple right now, which is how to take a really good trade. And let's go back real quick to lastly, we'll see this is up. I want to share. Here we go. This trade is up 156, so about 15 pips, which is really good. And it's just moving, it's just shooting. So as you guys can see, again, patience. I love how it actually looks on MT4 as well. You can see all of the previous points where price was wicking in this same area, wicking in this same area, wicking in the same area, and it looks like it's headed up right towards that 900s area, like I mentioned. So I'm going to stop that share. I had to cover one last thing. I wanted to make sure that I did leave some sort of typage, because for me, reading typage and verbiage helps me when I'm trying to understand something and make sure that it's really clear for me. So I had to come back. I said no when I finished the video. So this would just be a little, what do they call it, like the teaser at the end of the episode. I had to come back and write out exactly what those steps were for this specific trade entry. I want you guys to remember that not every trade is the same, okay? So as I always say, when you're trend trading, your entries are going to be, and again, always looking for this annotation. There we go. Right here, we got it. Your trend trading entries would be here, right? Here, these higher lows with those indecision candles. Notice I'm only covering points that have indecision candles. Here's a great buy. Here's a great buy. Here's a great buy, right? Here's a good buy. I would say a good buy, but that would be trading against the switch, because we had a switch of the trend for a little bit. Price started to make lower lows and lower highs. So you see, here's a great sell. Here's a great sell. Here's a great sell. So notice all of the points that I'm pointing at have wicks. The candles have indecision candles. I needed that to be super clear, and I needed to, like I said, write out this trade checklist for you guys, because again, in this specific situation, we covered a consolidation trade that I took, and it did have the wicks. You know, my candlesticks did throw a great wick at that support point. I'm gonna move this back. I marked it up. I deleted it once I finished the webinar, and now I'm coming back. So remark it here. Here we go, here. We put one there. Got one right there, there. And you notice I'm marking off. A lot of people are scared to mark their chart up, but I mark at all the pause points that I see, because those points are telling me something. And as you can see, price is headed up for that 900s level. I actually exited the trade, called an exit with my signals group, but it's important for us to just know. For me, I don't like to even lose out on my profit. I kind of like to exit or trail when I know price is getting close to a resistance point, or a support point if I'm selling. But again, wanted to go through really quickly and write out the steps that I took to look for this trade entry. Very, very simple. I came to the chart. Let me remove this support and resistance now. Came to the chart. I checked the 4-hour. I knew on my 4-hour I did have an uptrend previous, but for the current moment, price was definitely consolidated. On the 1-hour, it was consolidated. So I just started to look at where price was at. And to identify that, like I said, it was very easy. Price wasn't making higher highs or higher lows. So I know that price was stuck in between those two levels. And I'm looking for a box right now. Put a little rectangle around it. In this little area, just right in here, price was stuck. So it happened to be heading lower. It was pushing down. So I marked off my support point. I'm just going to mark that one simple support as I write out these last steps. Once I marked that support off, I waited. When I started to watch this trade, it was around here. So you see, I saw that there was a little level of support in here, because if I were to put one, previous support, previous support, previous support, previous resistance. So that was a level that it was actually at when I looked. But then I gave it some time because there was no indecision candle and it plummeted further. So it went for that next level. When it got near that level, I started to notice on the 30 and the 15-minute that it started to look a little weak. Again, when I speak about weakness, I'm speaking about the candles starting to throw wicks, okay? So see, it came to this level and it sat on top and it did throw a wick. It actually tried to start acting as if it was going to reverse. But then I'm looking back left as well, knowing that it has more room to come down still to this level. So that's the one lovely thing about, trading and support and resistance is that, again, I said it in the beginning of this video, price never does anything in a perfect way or a way that you're going to 100% be able to predict. Everything is about probability and, using the tools that you have to say, okay, I have a high level of confidence in this trade, so I'm going to take it. And that's all taking an entry is. Your confidence will grow as you go. But that's my hope is that you guys get to kind of see some of my confidence, calling signals for other people, calling trades for other people. It's a real, you have to have a lot of confidence to do so. And I'm not always right, but I do have a very high winning percentage. So a lot of that comes from me knowing what my style of setup is, what I like to check off again is this list. And then again, when price came to that level, we see at the support, it wicked, but it didn't go past. The body didn't close down there, right? So I counted it as a great point to go ahead and take my entry once the candlestick closed as an indecision candle. And we went ahead and got in. And so really quick, I'm going to go back to the 1 hour and just write those steps out for you guys to make sure they're super plain and simple. I'm going to put simple. I'm going to make this bigger as well. Simple trade checklist for better entries. All right. Number 1, identify a trend where I am at. Okay, so that just means identifying where the market is at. Because even if you see a possible setup again, it's likely gonna cause you to need some patience. Most of the time, you're gonna have to exercise some patience. So know that once you find a setup that you like, keep checking back on it. Set a timer on your phone. Do something that allows you to keep up with the trade and not forget it, but also don't be too anxious and just get in because you see something. After I identified my trend, I marked the spot, the support. So, place support and resistance, support and resistance, and wait. Here we go. And wait for price to get to the level that you feel has the most confirmation from previous rejections, right? So all that means is the previous point that price had bounced off of was at this level. So my highest probability of the trade was price coming to that level, to that level, to that level, right? I needed to wait. That's all that means. So once you place your support and resistance, you need to wait for price to come meet that level, and then you need to watch and see what it does at that level, okay? So just because it gets to that point, if there was a bulldozing bearish candle that went through this support point and went way further down, the trade would be no good to me at that point for that support that I was looking for because it disrespected it. So once it respects it, now I have a trade, all right? And then lastly, number 3, we're going to wait for that indecision candle. Indecision candle to close on your 30. And again, this isn't a bulletproof method. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just something that I feel will definitely help you get better trades, take better entries, improve your entries, the quality of your trade, less drawdown. This is very effective for that. We're waiting for our 30-minute. Could be the hour as well, the 1 hour. I'm doing it backwards, but the 1 hour as well as even your 15-minute. Okay. I'm going to make this bigger. Remove that. I wanted this just to be a little bit bigger for you guys. Boom. All right. And that's it. Simple trade checklist for better entries. I look forward again for real this time, seeing you guys on the next video. I love you guys. I hope that this video helps you. And again, like, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions for me. And I'll look forward to talking with you guys soon. God bless.